कैमरा थोड़ा सा ऊपर आएगा, मुझे लगता है थोड़ा कैमरा ऊपर आएगा. Let us discuss radiology questions now. I hope you found the radiology questions easy. I will be discussing one by one all questions, and I will be telling you more questions on other topics that can be asked on the similar topics. Okay, I will be revising many things for you. First question is, ectopic gastric mucosa is detected by. What do you think? Ectopic gastric mucosa is detected by. Now, this same question can be asked in a different manner. They may say, Meckel's diverticulum investigation of choice is. Okay. Answer to both the questions is same. If they ask ectopic gastric mucosa or Meckel's diverticulum, we should mark technetium pertechnate scan. Are you able to remember this? Please remember this fact, very, very important. Because normal gastric mucosa shows physiological uptake of technetium pertechnate. Normal gastric mucosa shows physiological uptake of pertechnate. But normally intestine will have no uptake of pertechnate. If there is a Meckel's diverticulum, it may have ectopic gastric mucosa. That is why you see uptake of technetium pertechnate. So that is why this question is very often asked. This has been repeated in many exams. If I try and add a few questions here, let us see what all we have done in the classes in the past, what is all important for KCT. Let us do some nuclear medicine revision here. Okay. Commonly used isotope in nuclear medicine, technetium 99M. Please remember, this is a very important question. What is the half-life of technetium 99? 6 hours. What is the energy of gamma rays emitted by technetium 99? 140 kilo electron volt. Are you able to remember this? 3 MCQs. Technetium 99 has a half-life of 6 hours. It produces gamma rays which have an energy of 140 kilo electron volt. Okay. Now let me add one more question. What is the parent of technetium 99? How do we produce technetium 99? It is produced by molybdenum 99. Okay, please remember this. MO99. Okay, MO99 is converted into technetium 99. This is a a potential MCQ for your future state exam. Are you able to remember this much? Okay. Now let us look at some basic questions on different organs and where all we use nuclear medicine. For nuclear medicine, the machine used is gamma camera. What do we use in nuclear medicine? Gamma camera. Any other name for gamma camera? Anger's camera. Please remember another potential MCQ. Gamma camera is also called as Anger's camera after the name of the person who invented this machine. Okay, another question in your this mock test only we have given. What is the detector used in gamma camera? Sodium. The question number 167. Sodium iodide, which is added with thallium. Okay, we add a small quantity of thallium into sodium iodide. That is the most popular detector used in gamma cameras. Okay. Now let us see more. Now if I add on more questions to your thought today, let us see what all you need to know. One important question that is very, very important for you to remember today is nuclear scan can be used in kidney as technetium DTPA or technetium DMSA. Okay, this is the isotope. Technetium is the isotope, DTPA is the carrier. Here technetium is the isotope, DMSA is the carrier. Popular MCQs that you get for DMSA are 1, 2, 3. Let me add. Popular MCQs for DMSA are: number 1, it is done for renal structure. S for structure. It is done for renal scarring. Also, it obtains static images. Are you able to remember this? Let us remember, DMSA scan is done for renal structure. It is also the best investigation for renal scarring, and it is done to obtain static images. Okay. On the other hand, DTPA scan is called as dynamic scan. It is done for renal function. DTPA is also called as dynamic scan. It is done for renal function. But please remember these two difficult questions for your future. Renal function is best assessed by technetium mag3. While if they ask you a different question, please remember GFR is best estimated by. Now what do you think? Now these are all, I am discussing nuclear scan agents. Please remember renal function is best assessed by technetium mag3 because technetium mag3 measures both GFR and tubular secretion. Okay, so if they ask you a question, GFR is best assessed by, please see DTPA only measures GFR. So which is better for GFR, DTPA or mag3? DTPA. So please remember technetium DTPA is better for GFR while mag3 is better for renal function. Okay, are you able to follow this much? Okay, let us add a few more questions now. What do we use for bone? Which isotope do we use for bone scan? Technetium MDP. Bone scan is done by technetium MDP. So please see, this is the radioactive substance, this is the carrier. MDP stands for methylene diphosphonate. Methylene diphosphonate. Bone scan is used for which disease? Skeletal metastasis. Bone scan is done for which disease? Skeletal metastasis. Please remember one more one-liner. Investigation of choice for skeletal metastasis is bone scan. Another point to remember, if you have, if you are, preparing for your exam right now, you know that bone scan is different from DEXA scan. It is another investigation which is done for osteoporosis. So very quickly I have told you a few MCQs. Bone scan we use technetium MDP, which is the investigation of choice for skeletal metastasis. Bone scan is not DEXA scan, it is a different investigation. DEXA scan is the best investigation for osteoporosis assessment. Okay. Now with this note, let us look at more questions now. Let us see the next question on your paper. The next question asked in your exam in the mock test that we've given you is, which of the following, all the following are radiological features of sigmoid volvulus except inverted U-shaped bowel loop, liver overlap sign, bird of prey sign, cupola sign. Now let us do some questions on related to this. Let me show you how sigmoid volvulus looks like. These are the diaphragm, pelvis, okay, abdomen, okay. If the sigmoid colon, okay, please understand, if the sigmoid colon twists on its own axis, that is called as volvulus. Sigmoid colon is twisting on its own axis, this is called as volvulus. So it will look like this. You will see dilated sigmoid loop which is twisting on its own axis. So the top of this twisted loop is seen at it is touching the liver. This is called as liver overlap sign. Now what do we see? We see a dilated loop of sigmoid colon which is twisted on its own axis, which is touching the liver. Okay. Now this particular appearance of the bowel has also been called as, if you remember, many of you from Karnataka are very aware of this, coffee bean sign. Okay, because coffee bean also has a fulcrum or a narrow structure in between. So this dilated loop on plain X-ray has been called as coffee bean sign. Now suppose I do barium study, what will I get? Suppose I do barium study, suppose I do barium enema and I give barium into the bowel through rectum, what will happen? Barium will go till here, then it will narrow down. Barium will not be able to go beyond the sigmoid colon because there is a knot, there is a twist. So this appearance of a dilated rectum with tapered sigmoid has been called as bird of prey sign. Okay. Now let us see the question again. All the following are radiological features of sigmoid volvulus except inverted U-shaped bowel loop. Right in front of you, you can see that. Liver overlap sign. Obviously, you can see it now. Bird of prey sign. Again, you can see it. So, the answer is cupola sign. Now, cupola sign is a sign of, please remember this is very important. I will be dealing this topic in more detail. Pneumoperitoneum. Pneumo means air, peritoneum means peritoneal cavity. Okay. Let us see some more questions on pneumoperitoneum, and all these signs I will try to fit in so that you are safe in your exam. Very common MCQ. Best X-ray for pneumoperitoneum is? Please remember the answer is chest X-ray PA view. Best X-ray for pneumoperitoneum, chest X-ray PA view. If that is not given in the choice, what should I mark? Left lateral decubitus. Please remember this is a very common MCQ, very often asked, and most of the books are agreed on this. Most of the textbooks are clearly mentioning this, that the best X-ray in the emergency room to detect minimum gas under diaphragm is a chest X-ray. If because of any reason chest X-ray cannot be done, you should get a left lateral decubitus X-ray done. Okay. Now once I know this, okay, once I am sure of this, let us remember one more thing. Can I identify pneumoperitoneum on a supine X-ray? Okay. Now if the patient is lying supine, where will the gas go? Gas always rises up. If the patient is supine, where will the gas go? Gas will collect below the anterior abdominal wall. If you do abdominal X-ray, you will see gas collected below the anterior abdominal wall, which is called as the football sign. Very important MCQ. Football sign is a sign of pneumoperitoneum. Secondly, sometimes you will see these are two bowel loops. You will see bowel loops and free air you will see trapped between the two bowel loops. This is called as telltale triangle sign. Football sign and telltale triangle sign. Okay, what else? Please remember one more sign for pneumoperitoneum. If this is the abdomen, because of free air, you can see the entire diaphragm outlined by the air in the peritoneum. This is called as cupola sign. So now we come to cupola sign. Cupola sign is outlining of diaphragm by the free air. This is called as cupola sign. Okay, another sign which is very often asked of pneumoperitoneum is, this sign is called as Wriggler sign. Wriggler sign. Normally when I do abdominal X-ray, only the inner wall of the bowel loop is visible. Only the inner wall of the bowel loop is visible. I cannot see the outer wall. But if there is gas on the outer aspect, so you can see both inner and outer walls of the bowel. This is called as Wriggler sign. Now let me repeat. If I am able to see the outer wall of the bowel loop in an abdominal X-ray, This is called as Rigler sign, and this indicates pneumoperitoneum. Okay. Few words about some more abdominal questions. When do I say intestinal obstruction on a X-ray? When I see air fluid levels, and a common MCQ in your exams is how many air fluid levels? More than 3. Please remember. Please remember another MCQ. Up to 3 air fluid levels can be seen physiologically. Okay. Up to 3 air fluid levels in an abdominal X-ray can be physiological. If I see more than 3 air fluid levels of more than 2.5 centimeter length, then we are looking at a patient with intestinal obstruction. Okay, intestinal obstruction more than 3 air fluid levels of 2.5 centimeter size in size. Okay, and up to 3 air fluid levels are physiological. Please remember few more key questions for you. Please remember this. Investigation of choice for intestinal obstruction now is CT scan. Now CT scan is considered the investigation of choice for intestinal obstruction. And on CT, criteria for intestinal obstruction are 3, 6, 9. 3 centimeter, 6 centimeter, 9 centimeter. 3 centimeter small bowel, 6 centimeter large bowel, 9 centimeter cecum. So please understand, if the small bowel on a CT scan is distended more than 3 centimeter, it is obstructed. If large bowel is distended more than 6 centimeter, it is obstructed. Cecum more than 9 centimeter is obstructed. These are CT criteria for intestinal obstruction. Are you able to follow this much? Is that making sense to you? Okay. So let us look at the next question and see if we have to add anything in that question. Question is, color Doppler study can evaluate the following except direction of flow, velocity of flow, impedance index, intravascular pressure. Now at the onset only I will tell you the answer. Doppler does not measure blood pressure. Okay, so please remember, answer is pressure. It does not measure pressure. Normally whenever we do Doppler study, we are looking at 3 things. Flow. First question that you often get is, I want to know if there is blood flow or not. Second, velocity. You can see the velocity of flow. Third, direction. So prime parameters which you can pick up on Doppler are presence of flow, direction of flow, velocity of flow. Please remember, direction of flow on Doppler study is commented by color. Please remember the color. Red is flow towards the ultrasound probe. Blue is flow away from the ultrasound probe. Are you able to remember this? Red is flow towards the ultrasound probe. Blue is flow away from the ultrasound probe in a Doppler study. Now let me give you some high yielding points now, especially important for your exams. Please remember, Doppler is the best investigation or the investigation of choice for number 1. Please remember this question, deep vein thrombosis. So many times you will get this question, deep vein thrombosis best evaluated by, answer is Doppler. Number 2, portal hypertension, what is the investigation of choice? Doppler. Number 3, carotid stenosis, screening investigation of choice is, suppose I want to see in a population, I want to screen them for carotid stenosis, what will I do? I will keep the Doppler machine on his neck and measure the velocity of the internal carotid artery. So this is the screening process used for carotid stenosis. 4th is pregnancy complications. I will discuss this. Okay, pregnancy complications. What all complications can you see in pregnancy? PIH. So what do we get in PIH on Doppler? Please remember, in PIH we look at uterine artery. Persistence of diastolic notch in the uterine artery after 22 weeks is a sign of preeclampsia. Now I want you to take a very careful look at what I am saying. In IUGR we measure umbilical artery, but in PIH we look at uterine artery, very important. Persistence of diastolic notch after 22 weeks is a sign of preeclampsia. Okay. And what do we get in IUGR? What is the normal flow pattern in umbilical artery? Normal umbilical artery will always show forward flow. This is 0 baseline. This is diastole, systole. Please remember, umbilical artery always has forward flow in both systole and diastole. Okay. Now let us see what you will get in IUGR. Very simple to understand. Once you understand, it's very simple. Now please tell me, in IUGR placental resistance is increased. Okay. If placental resistance is high, what will happen to the blood flow? Blood flow will reduce. Which blood flow will reduce? Systolic or diastolic? Diastolic, because blood is coming at less pressure, it will reduce. So what will you get? In IUGR, umbilical artery Doppler will show increased SD ratio. In severe cases, you may see absent diastolic flow or reversed diastolic flow. Okay. So once I see reversed diastolic flow, it is an indication for termination of pregnancy. Okay, very important question. What is the omnious sign on umbilical artery Doppler? Omnious sign is presence of reversal. Okay. Normally umbilical artery should have blood flow in the forward direction. In severe IUGR, diastolic flow may be absent, but in very severe IUGR, you may see a reversal. Reversal means flow is going in the opposite direction. This indicates that the fetus may die if you do not bring him out. So what will you do? Terminate the pregnancy via an emergency cesarean section. Okay. So these are some MCQs, one-liners on Doppler study which I wanted you to know. Let us see the next question. The next question is very easy. T1 and T2 images are a feature of, we all know the answer is MRI. Let us see some one-liners on MRI. MRI is based on a magnetic field. What is the magnetic field strength used in routine MRI? Routine MRIs are of 1.5 Tesla. However, if they ask you a range, MRI machines are from 0.2 to 7 Tesla. But routinely we use 1.5 Tesla. What is present in the human body which is responsible for MR images? H plus ions, which are same as protons. Okay. Few questions about T1 and T2 images. T1, T2. Water on MRI is seen as body water, may be also called as CSF. On MRI appears as dark on T1, white on T2. Dark on T1, white on T2. Please remember, the mnemonic to remember this question is World War II. Okay. Water is white on T2. Okay. Water is white on T2. World War II. Please remember this mnemonic. Fat on MRI appears as white on T1, less white on T2. A very important one-liner which is asked from this question is, please remember, which substance in the body is white on both T1 and T2 weighted images? Fat. Okay. Are you able to remember this? Okay. Let us do some more questions. Which substances are white on T1 image? One is fat. Please remember there are few more MCQs. Subacute hematoma. Subacute hematoma. Posterior pituitary. And malignant melanoma. Okay. Please remember, 4 causes of T1 white appearance are fat, subacute hematoma, posterior pituitary, malignant melanoma. Okay. Now let us see some more questions now. Now let us see. Investigation of choice for stroke. Non-contrast CT. Please remember this. Non-contrast CT head. Investigation of choice for acute brain hemorrhage. Again non-contrast CT. Investigation of choice for calcification anywhere in the body. C for calcium, C for CT, NCCT. Okay. But in the recent All India which happened, they asked a question, investigation of choice for acute brain infarct. Now what do you think? Okay. If they say stroke, answer is CT, but if they say infarct, answer is MRI. Which type of MRI? A special sequence of MRI which is used for brain infarct called as diffusion weighted image. In short form, they write DWI. Okay, DWI. Please remember this. So these are some one-liners which I want you to remember. Investigation of choice for stroke is a non-contrast CT. Investigation of choice for acute brain hemorrhage is non-contrast CT. Calcification is best detected by C for calcium, C for CT. Investigation of choice for brain infarct, MRI. Which type of MRI? Diffusion weighted MRI, DWMRI. Okay. So please remember these few one-liners. Okay. Now let us see the next question, and then we will give you some time to ask your own queries. Okay. The next question in radiology set of your exam, we have given a question, increased intracranial tension in adults is radiologically diagnosed by. Please remember, increased intracranial tension in children and adult, different answers are there. In a child, earliest sign is, now think of it, in a child sutures are tight or open? Open. So if the pressure is high, what will happen to the suture? They will open up. So what is this called as? Sutural diastasis. In adult, please see, in adult sutures cannot open up. So what is the sign of raised ICT? Erosion of the posterior clinoid process. Erosion of the posterior clinoid process. Sometimes in your exams they may write erosion of dorsum sella. Okay, this is the earliest sign in adult. This is the earliest sign in a child. Now please see the question carefully. In your question it is clearly written adult, and the first choice is suture, separation of suture, and the fourth choice is all of above. Now people who have not studied, they are attracted towards all of above, while that is not the answer. Please see, it is adult. Adult suture cannot open. Answer is erosion of the dorsum sella, or in this question the answer is erosion of the sella turcica. Actually the answer is erosion of posterior clinoid process, although it is not given in the choice. Last question from radiology. Scintillation crystal widely used for gamma rays detection is sodium iodide mixed with thallium. Please remember, this is what is used in gamma camera. All others like LSO, BS, BGO, YCO. Okay. Let me just give you some ideas on these three. Okay, L is for lutetium. B is for bismuth. Okay, Y is for yttrium. Okay, so these are some new isotopes which are being used in PET scanners as detectors. So PET scan, when it was initially made, it used sodium iodide detector like the gamma camera. But now PET scan has better detectors like LGO, BGO, YSO. Please remember, L is for lutetium, B is bismuth, Y is yttrium. You may remember, you may forget, it is okay. But please, you may note, these are PET detectors. Gamma camera, which is commonly used detector, is sodium iodide mixed with thallium. Okay. So we had a very few questions in radiology in this test. So I will now leave the house open for you to ask any doubts so that I can solve some controversies of yours. Any doubts in radiology? Okay. Let me answer your question. Silver beaten appearance is seen in, okay, raised ICT in children. Okay, please see. In a child, skull is hard or soft? Soft. And the pressure is high. So what will happen? The gyri and the sulci or the convolutional marking of the brain will be imprinted on the skull. This is called as silver beaten appearance. It is seen in raised ICT in children, but it is not the earliest sign. If they ask earliest in a child, you should mark sutural diastasis. Okay? Any other query? So the answer is, because they have written adult, that is why the answer has changed. Okay? Otherwise it would have been all. But they say adult, so answer is erosion of the dorsum sella. Any other query? Okay. On exposure, CT equal to how many chest X-rays? Okay, please remember this. CT head is equal to approximately 100 chest X-rays to 125 chest X-rays. CT body is equal to around 350 chest X-rays. Okay, so this should solve your purpose. So many times you get a question in many states, which has more radiation exposure? CT abdomen, CT head, X-ray chest. What do you think? X-ray. So answer is CT abdomen. Maximum radiation exposure is seen in CT abdomen. CT abdomen has maximum radiation exposure. 350 chest X-rays equivalent. Okay. Any other query you have? Feel free to ask your questions before the exam. Do not ask questions after the exam. Ask them now because you want to get a good rank in the coming exam. Any doubt from your exam? Anything you want to ask? Should I call it should I call it off for the day? Or are you typing something? New technology for? All new technology you want to know? New technology for? Questions that can be asked from radiology in new technology. Okay. Let us, quickly look at what new technologies, recent advances they can ask. Okay. Let us see one by one. Okay. Let us see, maybe we can go with, okay, PET scan. Okay. Full form. Positron emission tomography. Okay. First question. What is the isotope used commonly in PET scan? 18 fluoro deoxyglucose. Okay. 18 fluorine is the radioactive substance. Deoxyglucose is the carrier. Okay. Now, how do we generate this 18 fluorine? This is generated by cyclotron. Okay, it is a cyclotron generated isotope. Okay, let us see. Now there is one question on recent update of PET scan which was asked in JIPMER in 2012. Let us see this question. This is the PET scan machine. This is the patient lying down in the machine, and I have injected him 18 FDG. 18 FDG will emit what? It will emit Positron. That is why it is called as PET scan. It will emit positron. Now what will happen? Tell me from the knowledge of your physics that you have studied in the past, can positron survive when it is emitted out? No, it will not, because it will meet an electron, and an electron plus positron, electron plus positron is equal to annihilation. Annihilation means they will finish each other and they will destroy each other to produce two gamma rays which will go in opposite direction, which will have energy of 511 kilo electron volt each. Okay. So let me just write down the question which was asked in JIPMER. JIPMER question was, what is the physical principle of PET? Okay. Answer is positron annihilates electron to produce two gamma rays of 511 kilo electron volt each. Okay, this is the principle of PET scan, which I think is a possible question which we need to remember, because even in JIPMER it was asked in 2012 that positron annihilates an electron to produce two gamma photons of 511 kilo electron volt each. Okay, so this is the principle of PET. Commonly used isotope is classification of radiation exposure side effects. Okay, now very good question. Now let us see, how do we classify radiation exposure side effects of radiation? They are classified into stochastic and non-stochastic effects. Stochastic effects are also called as chance effects or non-threshold effects. Okay, what do I mean by chance effect? That means if somebody gets radiation, he may develop cancer, he may not develop cancer. There is no fixed threshold. There is no threshold after these many X-rays patient will develop cancer. It is just a chance effect, like carcinogenesis, similarly mutagenesis. While radiation burns, cataract, these are all dose related effects. More the dose, more chances of burn. More the dose, more chances of cataract. These are called as non-stochastic effects. Stochastic effects are nothing but chance effects or effects which have no threshold, which may occur at any dose. Okay, so this is how we classify the side effects of radiation. Any other query, Belgaum? Very often you get which of the following is a stochastic. Various units in radiology. Very good. Let me summarize this. Okay. Units used in radiology are rad. Okay, let me first write down. Roentgen, rad, rem. Okay. Total exposure. Okay, let us see now, and I will make a box here. Let's make a table. 3 units, definition, and we will write SI unit, standard unit. What is the standard unit? Total exposure is measured in Roentgen. SI unit corresponding to Roentgen is coulomb per kg. Okay. Unit of absorbed radiation is rad. SI unit is gray. 1 gray is equal to 100 rads. Rem is the unit of biological effectiveness. SI unit is sievert. 1 sievert is equal to 100 rem. Okay. And there are 2 units of radioactivity. Becquerel, which is 1 disintegration per second. Curie, which is equal to 3.7 into 10 to the power 10 disintegrations per second. Okay. Total 7 units are there. I will revise for you. Unit of radiation exposure. Total exposure is measured in Roentgen. What is the SI unit of radiation exposure? Please remember, coulomb per kilogram. Unit of absorbed radiation, rad. What is the SI unit? Gray. 1 gray is equal to 100 rads. Unit of biological effectiveness of radiation, rem. SI unit, sievert. 1 sievert is equal to 100 rem. Unit of radioactivity, SI unit, becquerel. 1 becquerel is equal to 1 disintegration per second. Curie is equal to 3.7 into 10 to the power 10 disintegrations per second. Okay, these are the total 7 units which are asked in your exams. Very, very important question for MCQ point of view. Any other question? Any other question you want to ask from Belgaum? Thank you. Is that a question or a unit? Okay. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best for your exams. I am happy that we could connect through this medium today. Okay. Thank you. Best of luck for your exams. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.